As always, better late than ever. Now, before I start reviewing this episode, do keep in mind, this episode is considered a Dr. Light episode. For those of you who don't know what a Dr. Light episode is, basically, in Season 2, Russell T Davies, who was the showrunner at that time, he penned an episode called Love and Monsters, where it focused on a group of people who have each at least met up with the Doctor at least once. That episode actually didn't have the Doctor in it that much. And they did a similar tactic in Season 3 with the episode Blink, where the Doctor was in that episode for only 10 minutes. And then they did it again in Season 4 with Turn Left, where the Doctor was in it only in the beginning and at the end. Then in Season 5, they did a companion-lite episode called The Lodger, in which it was basically just the Doctor, trying to pretend to be a human. That episode was pretty funny. Then in Season 6, there was the Dr. Light episode, The Girl Who Waited, and it mainly focused on the relationship between Amy and Rory. And I didn't even know if there was going to be a Dr. Light or Companion Light episode in Season 7. But I was proven wrong, thanks to The Crimson Aura. This episode, penned by Marc, who previously wrote Cold War, it focuses on fan favorites Madame Vastra, a Silurian detective that lives in Victorian-era England, her lesbian wife, Jenny, who is pretty light on her feet, and their muscle, if you will, Commander Strax, a Centauran who happens to actually be good for once. These three investigate a case in which there's this new development outside of London called Sweetville that's run by a kindly old lady played by Dame Diana Rigg, in which people go in, but they never come back out. And if they did, they would end up in the Thames River with their skin crimson colored. And so they send Jenny into Sweetville to investigate what's going on, and this is a spoiler, so be warned. The Doctor was one of the victims of Sweetville, in which his skin was turned crimson red. Not red as in the shirt I'm wearing, just crimson red. You know what crimson red looks like, right? Of course you do. You're a loyal viewer. I really liked this episode up until the point in which we find out what happened to the Doctor. And after that part, the episode kind of started wobbling a little bit, as if it kind of got a little off track, because it was focusing mainly on Madame Vastra, Jenny, and Strax. That's not a bad thing. I thought that was a good thing. These characters deserve more screen time, because the way the actors portray them is just so brilliant. It's like two of them are from Doctor Who adversaries, and yet they're good guys in this, and they trust the Doctor trusts them. That is a really good twist right there. And after the first half hour, there are some good scenes here and there. And say, for example, we get to see what kind of skill set Jenny has. We get more of the relationship between Dame Diana Rigg's character and her daughter, who is played by her real-life daughter. And the ending was a bit on the lackluster side. And I gotta say, it kinda left me a little empty. But does this mean it's a bad episode? No, absolutely not. It's still an enjoyable episode for the most part. There's some really great dialogue in this episode, especially between Madame Vastra, Jenny, and Strax. I want to see a spin-off for these characters. Moffat, make this happen! It's like, if Captain Jack Harkness can get a spin-off, so can Madame Vastra, Jenny, and Strax. I mean, come on. They deserve it. So in closing, the Crimson Horror is a little shaky pretty much after the first half hour, and it can get a bit tedious at times, and the story kind of loses its focus. There are like one or two little things that make it more worthwhile, but even still, just going after the first half hour, it's pretty uneven, unfortunately. I give the Crimson Horror 5 out of 11 Doctors. Side note, and this isn't really related to this episode, or Doctor Who for that matter, but if you know me, I'm a huge fan of the Schmoes from Schmoes Know. And they do a podcast on ToadHopNetwork.com every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 Eastern Standard Time. And they were recently talking about Iron Man 3. And Christian laid down his thoughts on a specific part in the movie. And this contains spoilers, sort of, but not really. Let's just say it involves the guy on the poster that's right there. Take a listen.
Here's my biggest problem. My biggest problem, even over the Mandarin. So I talked about the Avengers not showing up, and everyone's like, well, they're doing other things.
Well, no, I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Okay, here's the main one, though. The president is out on the plane. He's getting blown up by a terrorist, and they send Tony Stark. Where's Captain fucking America?
I agree.
It's Captain America. Save the president. What are you doing, Captain America?
Captain America's after the Winter Soldier.
You're Captain America.
Dude, whoa.
Get the president now.
But here's the thing, too. When you're reading comic books and it's one character, everyone else doesn't always show up. Like
Captain America. That's all I have to say. He's Captain America.
It's true, but also this doesn't.
By the way, this is all in good faith. I'm not trying to make fun of Christian Harloff. I respect the man. I'm just giving his thoughts. So what do you think? If you've seen the Crimson Horror yet, then let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. And if you like what you saw here, then feel free to press the like button, add this video to your favorites, and maybe even subscribe if you want. And stay tuned for my next review, which is of the next Doctor Who episode. The one episode that I've been waiting for all season long. I'll give you a hint. Delete. Yeah, that's a pretty stupid hint. So until next time, this is Marc Aquino saying...
Captain America! All right, guys, so we're coming...